Our install is finished, so I'm going to click Launch. Our Linux subsystem window pops up, tells us that the Ubuntu install is happening. Of course, this is a little bit of a time-consuming process with our downloads and installs, but once we're all set up, we shouldn't have to do any more of that kind of thing. Okay, now I'm being prompted to enter the Unix username, and I'm going to use the word learner, Learner, and then for my password, I'm going to use the same thing, learner. Notice that when I type the password, the cursor doesn't move. That's okay. It's still typing. And now I'm created with the Linux prompt. And Linux is a lot like a command prompt on Windows. So there are lots of different commands that you can use. But at this point, we've got our Linux machine up and running. So woohoo! When we get a Linux machine up and running, one of the first things we want to do is see if there are any updates, kind of like a Windows machine. And Linux has a special command for us to use to do that. We're going to start with sudo, which gives us root or administrative authority on our Linux machine. And using the sudo command, we're going to say, use the apt command get capability to update this machine. Now I'm going to press enter and it should start updating. Enter my password, learner, and then we see the update process begin. And it's done. Now, besides updating, we could also upgrade. I'm going to press the up arrow key, which retrieves the last command that I entered. And then I'm going to press my backspace key to change update to upgrade. And on this one, I'm prompted to continue. I'm going to type the letter Y. And this upgrade command is bringing any software installed on this Ubuntu machine up to the newest release or the newest release that it can based on its current release. So the apt get commands give us the ability to add new software, update software, and do important things like that on our Linux machine. So we're going to make sure it's all up to date here. Let's take a second as it's updating everything. As it goes through and does updates, you can watch and make sure that we don't see any errors. We do see some, things that couldn't determine the current run level. Things like that shouldn't be critical. We're watching for really things that get things all upset. And now we're greeted with our Linux prompt. We're back to our command prompt where we can get back to work. After doing our update, we're ready to install our Cobol compiler. The Cobol compiler has some prerequisites though, so we have to install each of those. First, we need to install the C compiler, because the way this GNU Cobol works is it converts the Cobol code to C code, and then it compiles that behind the scenes. So we have to have a C compiler running on our Linux machine. So sudo apt-get install gcc. Yes, I want to do that. Now it is going to take it a second to install that C compiler. We see status of different features and subsets of the service. It's not looking too awfully pretty right yet, is it? We'll get it there. Sometimes it's fun to work in a command prompt environment, but then sometimes it's not. So we'll get it to where we have both worlds. So we're getting good progress. We should be there any second. Now, our C compiler will be used behind the scenes. As I mentioned, so if you're a C programmer, you can look at the GNU Cobol source code if you have any problems, make recommendations for changes. Now I have a couple of other things that we need to install. Lib GMP 3-DEV. That one was really quick. It's just another prerequisite that we have. We also are going to install a database library, libdb 5.3-dev. Pretty quick, right? And that's all of the prerequisites that we need. So now I think we're ready to install our GNU Cobol. Now it used to be named Open Cobol, so that's what we'll use to install. Now we did that download on our Windows side. We can see that code, but here actually on our Linux side, the apt-get utility will take care of that for us. Now I should be able to run the configure command. That is the first thing that I need to do before I can use my Cobol compiler. And that's been loaded to my profile folder. So I'm going to use the / prefix to add the current folder to my search path. Ah, darn. It's just config. Just kidding. It's just not liking my stuff here. So let's see. I'm going to change directory to the root. Oops. And look at the file folders that we have. Move into the lib and see what's going on there. That all seems to work. I'll go back to my home folder. And again, see what all files and folders I have. There is something that I am missing, and so I will be right back when I have it.